If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I am a fan of an occasional shortcut and I like a good semi-homemade meal. But in today's video, we're actually going to take the opposite tack. I'm going to share with you 10 things I think we should all know how to make from scratch and should, as a rule, not all the time, but most of the time, make ourselves at home. If one-pot meals had a brand name, surely it would be Hamburger Helper. And my mom made that when I was growing up. I made it in college and even the first few years that I was married. And I'll admit that occasionally I still have a box of Hamburger Helper in my pantry. However, I have learned so many good one-pot recipes that mimic Hamburger Helper. And they're really easy to make, really just as easy as the box mix. And usually they end up costing less too. For what I would spend on the standard box mix of Hamburger Helper plus the price of the ingredients you have to add to it, I can actually just make a one-pot meal at home and have the serving sizes be much larger. Have you ever noticed that it says it serves, this one says 6 one-cup servings. I've never made a box of Hamburger Helper and thought that it would serve even my family of 5. I always have to add stuff to it. Plus, I can be in control of the seasonings and the ingredients that are in it. And usually when I take the time to just make it from scratch, not only can I make bigger servings for the same price, I also can make something that tastes better. I hardly ever buy cream soups anymore because you can make them from scratch using a roux and milk and seasonings and chicken broth. But I found an even easier way to make them using a gluten-free version, which uses just 3 ingredients: milk, broth, and cornstarch, plus whatever seasonings you want. Plus, at $1.26 a can for the name brand, it is always more cost efficient for me to make it myself, and it really isn't that hard, and it tastes better, and I'm in control of what goes in it. In most of my grocery stores in my area that I frequent, I can find shelves and shelves and shelves of packet seasoning mixes, meaning different blends of seasonings that they put in a single packet for a single use for a specific flavor purpose. And I'm not saying that I never use them, but I use them very infrequently because I have discovered that I can make something similar or even better from spices and seasonings that I already have in my kitchen. Today, I was refilling my taco seasoning container with a blend of chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, and a few other things. But I have also made spaghetti sauce mix from scratch. I can make the Italian dressing mix that you find in packets from seasonings in my spice rack. I've even made a copycat version of the Lipton onion soup mix, again, from stuff that I already have in my kitchen. If you do a little Google search or you hop on Pinterest and look around, you can usually find lots of different variations of the packet mixes that you would find in the grocery store, and you can try them out and tweak them a little bit until they are the flavor and the consistency that you want for your family. Of course, this is easier to do if you keep a stock of staple spices on hand. I recently purchased quite a few for my spice racket from today's sponsor, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online grocery retailer on a mission to make healthy living affordable for everybody. And I love to restock some of my pantry staples from Thrive Market, like pasta, rice, canned goods, and olive oil. But they also offer a lot of products that cater to special dietary needs or preferences. In fact, you can sort their website according to your preferences. So if you want to look at the products that they offer that are keto friendly, that are paleo friendly, that are vegan, vegetarian, any number of diets or lifestyles, you can do that on the Thrive Market website or in their app. They meticulously and carefully pack everything so it arrives safely and undamaged on your doorstep. Plus they use carbon neutral shipping and recyclable packaging. Included in the thousands of natural and organic products that Thrive Market offers on their website, priced below traditional retail value, are seasonings, marinades, sauces, dressings, spice mixes, the kinds of things that we can use to really rev up the flavor of our food. In fact, you are currently sitting in my over the pantry door spice rack, which I recently reorganized using some of the seasonings and spice mixes that I purchased from Thrive Market. Thrive Market has a one-to-one membership initiative, meaning for every membership that is purchased, they give one to a family in need. And the best bang for your buck where memberships are concerned is to purchase the annual membership because it comes out to right around $5 a month. And because Thrive Market has a savings guarantee, if you don't save at least as much as your membership cost across your first year of being a member, they will make up the difference. To get 30% off your first order plus a free gift worth up to $60, go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom or visit the link in the description box below. That's 30% off your entire first order with Thrive Market. Thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video and being a longtime supporter of my channel. Again, if you have not checked Thrive Market out, follow the link in the description box below or go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom. When you sign up, you're gonna get 30% off your entire first order plus a free gift. Of all of the markups on ready-made bakery items, the one I think is the most ridiculous is on muffins. A package of 4 muffins at my Walmart costs $3.98. And like a package of like muffin mix is less than that and makes 3 times as many muffins, not to mention how much less it would be if I just start with a cake mix and add some ingredients from my house, or even just make them from scratch. One thing that I do think is worth the money from the bakery, which I had mentioned before, is frosting. I can actually purchase prepared buttercream icing from the bakery, and they usually will even put it in a disposable piping bag for me. And it's way easier and way cheaper than trying to make it myself. And while we're on that subject, a few other items I don't feel are worth it to make from scratch or are just too time consuming are noodles, unless you want like a really good arm workout rolling out that egg noodle dough. Ice cream, because the ingredients to make it are so expensive. And also applesauce, which I sometimes make in the crock pot just because it's fun and it tastes really good. But as far as the cost goes, it costs me so much more in apples than it does for me just to buy applesauce in bulk. Now, this next one isn't necessarily a money saver, and it certainly takes a lot of time. So I don't do it often, but I just think it's a good skill to have. I think we should all know how to make bread, some kind of bread, from scratch. Bread can be very fickle, I know. It can be a little bit intimidating when we're first starting out, especially when you're talking about proofing and kneading and the different kinds of ingredients and the temperatures and how it has to adjust based on the time of year or where in the country you live. So it can take, you know, a little time and some guess and check and, you know, just some learning through failure to get it just right. But it doesn't always have to be super complicated either. I use my bread maker a lot of times to make different bread doughs, and then I will finish baking them in the oven. I've also made the famous 4-ingredient bread, which is just water, flour, yeast, and salt, and it's one that you don't even have to knead. So if you have time but not a large budget, it's one that can be really good to learn how to make. But there are also some quick bread recipes out there, or bread-like products like tortillas or biscuits. I have made beer bread many times before, which is a limited ingredient list and it doesn't require any yeast. So if you're on the fence about learning how to do it, I want to encourage you. I am not a bread connoisseur or a bread expert by any stretch, and I've been able to learn a few simple recipes that work out pretty well for me each time. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience with ourselves as it's a learning process. If you were to open up my refrigerator here in the door, you would find an array of things like various condiments and sauces, several different varieties of bouillon, chocolate syrup, jelly or jam, and on this particular day you would even see the antibiotic prescription for my younger daughter's ear infection. What you will rarely find in my refrigerator are salad dressings, save for our favorite ranch dressing, which is kind of hard for me to imitate. But when it comes to other kinds of salad dressings, especially vinaigrettes, I don't purchase them very often anymore because I've discovered that they're really easy to make from ingredients that I almost always have on hand in my kitchen, namely different kinds of oils, vinegars, maybe some citrus like lemon or lime, and different combinations of spices, seasonings that I already have in my spice cabinet. And not only am I avoiding the big markup by purchasing those things in the bottle for convenience, I am also in control of the ingredients. I can use more oil or less oil. I can use different kinds of vinegars that we like. I can use different combinations of flavors to create salad dressings. I can make a little, I can make a lot. It just makes so much sense to me. When it comes to jarred sauce for pastas, I will use a jarred red sauce like a marinara all day long. But one thing that I don't buy very often, if ever, is jarred Alfredo sauce. I just don't like it. I end up having to add so many things to it, so many extra ingredients to make it taste right, that I might as well just make it myself in my own kitchen. And it's so easy too. I actually made an entire video devoted to how I make the Alfredo sauce that my family likes, and it's just 4 ingredients: butter, fresh Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, and garlic. And there are lots of other white sauce recipes out there that you can look up that are really simple to make also. A lot of them start with a bechamel, which is butter and flour or a roux, and then you add milk to it, and then you can add cheeses and other seasonings from there. And if you want an even simpler sauce for your pasta, you can look up how to make cacio e pepe, where the sauce is actually made from the starchy pasta water that the pasta cooks in, and a little bit of pepper and some pecorino romano. Something I learned to make fresh at home during the pandemic was pico de gallo. And man, those little containers of pico at the store are really pricey, especially when you find out how inexpensive the ingredients are. Pico de gallo is just tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos diced up, and then some lime juice and a little bit of chopped cilantro. I usually add a little bit of salt to mine as well. It doesn't take me very long at all to whip up a batch of this. It's especially refreshing in the summertime with chips. And I'm saving a lot by making it at home with inexpensive ingredients that are available in my grocery store most of the year. Now, I personally am not a fan of avocados, but I think you could say the same thing about guacamole. It is much more cost effective and usually better to make it at home. And when we were visiting family over Thanksgiving break, my sister-in-law showed me how to make guacamole. It's also very simple, short ingredient list. I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. Even though it is kind of a rainy, dreary day here in Oklahoma, grilling season is drawing nigh, and we are standing outside next to our grill, which gets a lot of use in the summertime. But one thing you will not find in my pantry very often, if ever, are bottled marinades. It's so easy to look up recipes online for marinades that usually just use a combination of different oils, different vinegars, different condiments, maybe some citrus like lime or lemon, and different seasonings that I have on hand. And since the store brand marinades are costing almost $2 a bottle, I find it to be more cost effective, and it allows me to control the flavors when I make the marinades for the meats myself. You can save a lot of money plus control the ingredients more if you will pop your own popcorn from popcorn kernels. I invested in one of these silicone popcorn poppers a few years back, and yes, I know it is an investment of about 12 and a half bucks. At least that's what mine costs on Amazon right now, but this thing has paid for itself time and time again. Our favorite microwave popcorn that comes in the bag is the Orville Redenbacher's Tender White Popcorn, and it cost me $6.36 for a box of 12 bags, which isn't too bad, but each bag will pop maybe 8 or 9 cups of popcorn if every kernel pops. This 2-pound bag of Jolly Time white popcorn makes about 125 cups of popcorn, and it cost me only about $2.25 per bag. And then I can top it with whatever I want and be totally in control of the seasonings and the oils that go in it. So like I said, this thing pays for itself over time. I'll leave the one that I have linked in the description box below, but there are lots of choices on Amazon for this and other little popcorn popping doodads that will do the job and save you lots of money over the long haul. Now, I'm not saying we never buy microwave in the bag popcorn. In fact, it's one of the things we often pick up when we go on vacation to a rental house like an Airbnb or a VRBO. But at home, we've pretty much switched over to this stuff most of the time. It's a really easy, inexpensive snack, and it's something that I just always keep on hand in the pantry. Pick out one of these videos to watch next, and thank you again to today's sponsor, Thrive Market. Be sure to check them out in the description box below, or go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom for 30% off your first order plus a free gift.